Someone is watching you with a depth of feeling that even they didn't expect. What started as simple interest has grown into something intense, something they can't easily switch off. This is not random curiosity. This is someone becoming emotionally attached in a way that surprises even them. Amelia is here. So, at first, they told themselves it was nothing. They thought it was just a passing attraction, something temporary that would fade with time. They observed you quietly from a distance, convincing themselves they were in control. They believed they could manage it, but the more they watched you being yourself, natural, confident, authentic without even trying, the more something inside them began to shift. They noticed everything about you. The way people respond when you speak. The way attention seems to find you effortlessly. The way conversations stretch a little longer when you're involved. They see how others gravitate toward you without you forcing it. And when you leave a space, they feel that absence more than anyone else. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Instead of feeling secure, this awakens something deeper in them. A realization that you are not ordinary, that you are not someone who can be easily replaced, that if they remain silent for too long, someone else might step into the place they secretly hoped would belong to them. That thought creates pressure inside them. It creates urgency. For a long time, they have been holding themselves back. Words sit on their lips, but they swallow them. Confessions replay in their mind late at night. They imagine standing in front of you and finally being honest. They picture telling you how deeply they feel, how much you've affected them. But every time they get close to crossing that emotional line, fear stops them. They are afraid of rejection, afraid of not being enough, afraid that once they reveal their true feelings, things will change permanently. There's comfort in silence, even if it hurts. Speaking the truth means risking everything, and that risk has kept them frozen. But something is changing now. The jealousy they feel is no longer quiet. It's turning into motivation. Watching from a distance is not satisfying anymore. Seeing you live your life freely, interacting with others, unaware of the emotional storm inside them, it destabilizes them. It makes them realize that time is moving, and if they don't act, they might lose their chance completely. You are no longer an occasional thought in their mind. You are constant. You appear while they're working, while they're driving, while they're trying to focus on something else. Even during moments meant for relaxation or distraction, your presence lingers in their thoughts. They try to replace the feeling with other conversations, other people, other attention, but nothing compares. This is not just physical attraction. It goes deeper than that. It's recognition. They recognize something rare in you. They recognize emotional depth, authenticity, a presence that cannot be copied. They understand, maybe for the first time, that you are not easily forgotten. Your energy left an imprint on them. They pay attention to your behavior, your reactions, your moods. Not to control you, but to understand you. They want to approach you correctly. They want to be prepared when they finally step forward. They don't want to risk saying the wrong thing and losing you immediately. Even imagining losing you feels unacceptable to them. At this point, their feelings have grown beyond simple interest. They think about what their life would look like without you in it, and it feels incomplete. They imagine you choosing someone else, and it unsettles them deeply. There is an emotional intensity building that they can no longer ignore. They have had opportunities before, moments where they could have spoken up, taken a step closer, expressed something meaningful, but they hesitated. They overthought. They doubted themselves. And now they look back at those missed chances with regret, feeling like they let something valuable slip through their fingers. Right now, they are processing everything, overanalyzing past interactions, replaying conversations, wondering what you felt, wondering if you sensed any of this. They are not calm about you. They are not indifferent. Their emotions are active, growing and pushing them toward a point where silence may no longer be possible. The real shift happening here is internal. The fear that once kept them still is slowly being replaced by determination. The thought of losing you to someone else is becoming stronger than the fear of rejection. And when that balance changes completely, action usually follows. So this isn't just about someone watching you anymore. It's about someone realizing that they may not be able to stay silent much longer. Right now, this person is carrying a heavy emotional weight. They feel lonely in a way that is deeper than just missing someone. It's the kind of loneliness that comes from realizing you lost something important because of your own actions. They are sad, withdrawn, and stuck in their thoughts. Overthinking has become their daily routine. They replay conversations, moments, decisions. They analyze what they said, what they didn't say, and how everything unfolded. Instead of talking badly about you or blaming you to others, they're mostly silent. They don't want to twist the story anymore. They know the truth inside, so they keep it to themselves. The regret is strong. They are thinking about the missed chances, the opportunities they had to do things differently. They now see clearly where they could have shown up better, where they could have chosen maturity instead of ego, stability instead of impulse. That realization is painful. It is not just an emotional discomfort. It is affecting their daily life. They may not be sleeping well. Their appetite could be off. Their energy feels low. Stress and exhaustion are starting to show in their face and body. When someone is emotionally burdened, it eventually reflects physically. And that is what is happening here. In the past, they acted immaturely. When the situation required seriousness, responsibility, and emotional steadiness, they chose experimentation and avoidance. They might have played games with their own feelings or with the connection. They did not take the practical route when it mattered most. At that time, they may have thought they were being clever or protecting themselves. Now, looking back, they see that those choices were driven by fear and immaturity. They are sitting with the consequences of those decisions. And awareness is humbling them. However, something important is shifting inside them. Growth is happening. Slowly, but genuinely. The pain has forced them to reflect deeply. They are trying to overcome the immaturity that once controlled their reactions. They want to become emotionally mature, financially responsible, mentally stronger. There's a real effort to level up in all areas of their life. You ignited something in them. A spark. And that spark has not gone out. Even during the silence, even during distance, that inner fire connected to you has remained alive. At some point, they may have tried to manipulate the situation. They might have hidden their true feelings. They were aware that their emotions for you were pure and strong, but instead of expressing them honestly, they chose to act in ways that were not transparent. There may have been selfish choices. Perhaps they tried to control outcomes or protect their pride. Whatever it was, it backfired. The tricks, the avoidance, the lack of honesty only created a bigger burden. Now they carry that weight, and it feels heavy. They feel like they don't even have the strength to endure this emotional pressure anymore. But instead of collapsing completely, they are trying to rebuild themselves. They are putting in effort, real effort. They're trying to fix the parts of their life that became messy. They are working on balancing their emotions, their responsibilities, their direction. They know no one else is responsible for the situation except them. So they are slowly stepping into accountability. That is a major shift. Their feelings for you are still intense, passionate, powerful. There is attraction, yes, but it goes beyond surface-level desire. They feel deeply connected to you. At times it feels like obsession, not in a dark way, but in a way that shows how much space you occupy in their mind and heart. They think about what life would look like if they had handled things differently. They imagine a fresh start. They genuinely want a second chance to do things the right way. Before, they were careless. Now they want to move carefully. They do not want drama. They do not want conflict. They want peace. They want something honest and official. They see you as someone long-term, someone they could build something stable and ethical with. They're thinking about commitment in a serious way now. The version of them that once hesitated is slowly being replaced by someone who understands the value of what they almost lost. There's a possibility that when they finally act, it may seem sudden. They might approach impulsively because they feel like time is slipping away. They may not have a perfect plan. They might simply reach out because they cannot hold the silence anymore. But this time, the intention feels different. It is not about control or ego. It is about responsibility and honesty. At the same time, your energy has transformed. You have shifted inward. Instead of focusing on them, you have been focusing on yourself, your growth, your independence, your peace. You are not chasing. You are not waiting anxiously. You are building your own stability. That inner shift has made you stronger, more grounded, more confident. There is now a noticeable difference between you both. While they are trying to rise to your level emotionally, you are already standing in your power. Your energy feels self-sufficient, balanced, calm. You are not reacting from desperation. You are moving from self-worth, and that makes you even more attractive in their eyes. This connection now carries intensity because of that contrast. They feel the urgency to grow and match your strength. You feel steady and centered, no longer dependent on their actions for your happiness. That dynamic creates tension, traction, and the possibility of transformation. The story is no longer about immaturity and chaos. It is about accountability, growth, and whether they can truly step into the mature version of themselves that this connection has been pushing them to become. You have changed more than you realize. You stopped pouring your energy into people who don't meet you with clarity. You've stopped chasing explanations. You've stopped overextending yourself emotionally. Instead, you've become focused on your own growth, your own peace, your own alignment. And while you may have felt this shift quietly within yourself, the impact of it has been loud on the outside. This person feels it. They feel that you are no longer as accessible as you once were. Your energy is not reaching for them anymore. Your emotions are not spilling outward in the same way. There's a new emotional self-containment about you, a calm strength, a subtle detachment, and that shift has created urgency inside them, because now they are starting to realize something very real. If you fully move forward, if you truly detach and close that emotional door, they may not be able to re-enter your world again. That awareness is accelerating their internal process. What once felt comfortable to them, observing you from a distance, staying silent, holding back, is no longer sustainable. They are reaching a turning point where observation must become action, where silence must become honesty, where distance must become movement toward you. The longer they wait, the more they feel the ground slipping beneath their feet. This is not something that will stretch on endlessly. It doesn't carry the energy of years of waiting. It carries the energy of escalation. For some of you, this shift could unfold quickly, within days or weeks. For others, it may take a little longer because fear has been deeply rooted in this person. They have been paranoid about rejection. They have been analyzing every possible outcome before taking a step. But even for them, the delay is not indefinite. It is a matter of timing, not absence of feeling. When they do move, it will not be casual. It will not be light or careless. It will carry the weight of everything they have been suppressing. This person does not simply want to reconnect. They want to secure a place in your life. They want to make sure they are not replaceable. They want to claim emotional territory before they believe the opportunity disappears for good. You will likely notice subtle signs first. Increased attention, more presence in your environment, more attempts to enter your conversations, your awareness, your daily space. They will test the waters carefully. They will observe how you respond. They will measure whether the emotional door is still slightly open or completely closed. They are strategic right now, not because they do not care, but because they care too much and fear losing control. And understand this clearly. What once felt like jealousy is now turning into determination. They are no longer content watching from afar. There is a competitive energy inside them, not necessarily with another person, but with time itself and with their own hesitation. It feels like an internal battle, a battle between fear and desire desire is slowly winning. Internally, they are planning more than you can see. They are thinking about the right moment, the safest timing, the exact words. They want their approach to be received with openness. They do not want to step forward only to face immediate rejection. So they calculate, they analyze, they wait for a moment that feels aligned and secure. But beneath that strategy is something intense. Their attraction toward you is deepened into something they cannot easily control. They see you as someone who awakened a feeling in them that no one else has. You have become both comfort and craving, sweetness and intensity. There's a passion here that has crossed a point of no return. They no longer experience the same depth with others. Nothing satisfies in the same way. And that is why this feels consuming to them. The escalation did not happen randomly. It happened because of you, not because you tried to change them, but because you chose yourself. You redirected your energy inward. You strengthened your emotional boundaries. You stopped proving your worth. And in doing so, you shifted the dynamic completely. Your power has never been about controlling this person. It has always been about remaining aligned with who you are. Your independence created their respect. Your emotional balance created their attraction. Your authenticity created their fixation. The more centered you became, the more magnetic you appeared. And now they are standing at a crossroads internally. They can either continue suppressing what they feel and risk losing you entirely, or they can step forward and risk vulnerability. The pressure of losing you is becoming heavier than the fear of rejection. This is why movement is building. This person does not want to merely reconnect. They want to secure their place. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel that what exists between you is exclusive and undeniable. In their mind, this is no longer just interest. It is something that feels rare, something they cannot replicate. You have become unforgettable to them. And the more you stand firm in your own energy, the more inevitable their movement becomes. This person has tried to distract themselves. They have tried to focus on other people, other conversations, other situations. They've tried to convince their mind that they can move on or feel the same spark somewhere else. But no matter what they do, nothing gives them that same rush. Nothing feels exciting, alive, or meaningful the way you do. It always circles back to you. Their thoughts return to you when they wake up, when they're busy, even when they're trying their hardest not to think about you. You have become the center of their emotional world without them even planning for it to happen. They crave your presence in a very deep way. It's not just about attraction. It's about how they feel when they imagine being near you. They miss the warmth of closeness, the comfort of your energy, the way your presence affects their body and their emotions at the same time. They imagine your touch, your skin, your warmth against theirs. They imagine holding you, feeling you, and getting lost in that closeness. It's intense for them. It feels consuming. And sometimes even they are surprised by how strong it is. At the same time, there is fear inside them. They're scared that if you fully understood how deeply they feel, you might pull away. Because what they feel is not small or casual. It has grown into something powerful. It has grown into something that takes over their thoughts. They know that this kind of intensity can be overwhelming. They know that obsession can scare someone. And that fear makes them cautious. Even though their heart wants to rush forward, The connection they feel with you feels different from anything they have experienced before. It doesn't feel ordinary. It feels rare, almost unreal. They don't feel this emotional pull toward anyone else. They don't even want to. When they think about you, it feels otherworldly, like something they can't logically explain. They don't understand why the attraction is so strong, why their emotions are so deep, why their body reacts the way it does when they think of you. It doesn't make sense to their mind, but it feels completely real in their heart. They want you fully. They don't want to compete with anyone. They don't want to risk losing you to someone else. Deep inside, they are becoming more determined every day. Even if they don't show it openly, they are planning. They are imagining conversations with you. They are rehearsing what they might say. They are thinking about how to approach you without pushing too hard. Don't be surprised if they suddenly appear, message you out of nowhere, or ask if you're free to meet. They might suggest coffee. They might ask you out unexpectedly. They are building up courage. The love they feel seems illogical to them. They never expected to fall this way. They never planned for this intensity. But they did fall. And now that they have, they can't ignore it. You make them genuinely happy. You make them feel alive. Being around you, even just thinking about you, creates a spark inside them that they don't feel anywhere else. And because of that, they don't want to share you. They want you to choose them. They are waiting for your approval, waiting for you to signal that it's safe to step forward. In their eyes, you hold the power here. You are the one who decides how this moves forward. And strangely, they are drawn to that. Your confidence, your strength, the way you carry yourself, it affects them deeply. It excites them. It overwhelms them. It drives them a little wild inside. They are fascinated by your energy. They feel like you hold the key to everything they're feeling. Their desire is strong, but it's not only physical. Yes, they are attracted to you in a passionate way. Yes, they imagine being close to you, touching you, exploring you. But they don't just want your body. They want your voice, your thoughts, your emotions, your heart. They want to understand you. They want to connect with your soul. They want to treat you with tenderness and passion at the same time. They want it to be mutual, intense, and fully consensual. They want to give you pleasure, affection, and attention in ways that feel deep and meaningful, not empty. To them, you feel like a secret they replay in their mind when no one is watching. A beautiful temptation they can't stop thinking about. They miss you. They ache for you. Even if they act normal on the outside, inside there is a quiet burning. And when the moment finally comes where they express everything, you will feel the intensity that has been building inside them all this time. But here is what truly matters for you. You need to stay grounded. You need to protect your emotional stability. Because when this person finally steps forward, and it feels like they will soon, the dynamic between you will change. It won't stay light or casual. It could become serious very quickly. The energy between you could deepen fast. And when something this intense begins to move, it shifts everything. So prioritize yourself. Stay clear about what you want. Stay strong in your boundaries. Because what is building here is powerful. And when it finally unfolds, it won't remain hidden anymore. What is truly meant for you always finds its way into the light.